Hello everyone, welcome back again. So in this video, we'll talk about metal stocks. So before getting into the actual content of this video, I just want to make a point by showing two charts. So the two charts are one is Nifty IT and Nifty Metal. So I will show you Nifty IT. In Nifty IT, if you can see, there's a humongous rally from 2009. It just growing all the ways. But when you see the metal, metal, Nifty metal, here you can see there is up and downs, up and downs, up and downs. This is actually a cycle, a business cycle. So here you can see in business cycle there will be an expansion stage, and then we will see the peak, and then recession, then we'll see the trough. So this will continues like this. So in metals, we had an expansion. You can see in the chart we had a super cycle expansion here. So whether this is a peak or not, we don't know, right? As of now we don't know, but when we go into the video you will understand. So in order to understand whether we are in peak or not, we just want to know two things. The first thing is how the rally actually started, and the second thing is what are the factors which actually started the rally, whether they exist or not on today also. So in this video we'll discuss these 2 points. So coming to the first point, how the rally started, I'll just show you two things. I'll just show you these things. Let's go to some economics. So what happens when Corona came? When Corona came, everybody lost their jobs, and all the companies' cash flows got hit hardly. Because of that, all the income levels of the households got decreased. And when the income of the households got decreased, it directly impacts consumption of the households. When the consumption of the households got impacted, it directly affects the GDP of the economies. When GDP of the economies got affected, it will increase the pressure on the governments. So what governments will do? They will introduce the expansionary policies. One is monetary expansion and fiscal policy expansion. So monetary expansion policy will be done by the central banks. Central banks, what they will do? They will increase the interest rates. So whenever the increase in interest rates happens, all the people will take loans from the banks, and they will start building their houses, and they will start some business and all. So by that, because of that, there's a chance of increasing demand in metal products. And another thing is monetary and fiscal policy expansion. What actually government does in fiscal policy expansion is they will increase the government's expenditure on infrastructure projects. So infrastructure projects, you can see we had a daily news uh, like 2 months back, like US government is announcing a package like two trillion dollars package and all. So this actually, they are going to keep the money in infrastructure projects. So whenever the infrastructure projects actually starts, and once again the demand of the metal products will start increasing. So these are the two things. When expansionary fiscal policies and monetary policy happens, there will be increase in the demand. Another thing uh, be- actually happened is the China actually going to the environmental cause. So in order to protect the environment, what they have done is they have changed their metal policy. So they thought of doing like a producing metal for their own consumption only. So they started decreasing their exports. So these are the two reasons why actually the metal rally has started. So before the rally has started, uh, what happens when the corona came? All the metal companies actually cut their production in order to meet the demand. So there shouldn't be so market won't actually allows to have a gap between demand and supply. So the time when corona actually happened, the corona issue actually came, there is a very less demand. So in order to match the demand, all the metal companies shut their production or decrease their production. So because of that, we can see there is a huge impact on the operating profit margin. You can see on at the time of corona first wave, June, Tata Steel operating profit margin is actually 2%. That means Tata Steel has decreased their production, and also the prices of the steel are at low. So when this expansion policies happened and China has changed their policy, all of a sudden there is a supply and demand mismatch happened. Because of that, metal companies started getting their pricing power again. So it's all actually started from iron and copper. Actually for iron, in past 15 years there is no increase in price. Because of this corona crisis, suddenly the iron got huge demand, but there is no supply. So because of that, huge rally has started actually in iron and copper. After that, all metals started following those, and now we can see all metals are actually doubled their prices. So this I can show you in the charts of the copper and aluminum in MCX. You can see this copper chart in 350, from 350 points, it just went to 750 points. And you can see the aluminum in one from 120 points, it just went to 200 points. So, uh, so these are the things actually happen when there is a supply and demand mismatch came. So, so this is the reason how the rally has started actually. So I'll show you the fundamentals actually, how the fundamentals of the company started changing by showing you an example in Tata Steel. So Tata Steel is a big company in India. It is one of the Nifty 50 stock. So here you can see in June there is a 2% operating profit margin and there is a 39 negative EPS. So they are in heavy pressure. You know, a lot of companies actually started shutting down their factories. In that time, suddenly this corona crisis came and the economies already started increasing their expansionary policy. And there we go. In September, the operating profit margin started increasing to 16% and then 23 and then 28. So uh, why operating profit margins increased? Because first the prices of the final product got increased and the expenses, actually the material cost, not changed. Even we can say it is decreased because they will be having a quarry. From quarry they will extract the raw material and then they will produce. The thing doesn't change for them. The things only change is their final product. Because of that, you can see the effect on the bottom line. From 13 EPS it went to 32 and now it is 55. So uh, can we say this is the highest price of the metals? How do we know whether this is the highest price? How do we know whether still there is a mismatch between demand and supply? I'll show you the latest news, what actually came in recent days. So the news recently came yesterday, I think so. China is planning to impose 15% export duty on steel companies. You know, earlier they have actually incentives to exporters like 10 to 15% of their turnover. Now they have cut their incentive and also they are going to impose the export duty. And already Russia has increased the export duty, and American companies have started increasing their steel prices. And you can see this is also exists in India. And today SAIL has raised that uh, raw material price, sorry, final price of the good 2000 per ton. So still the pricing power exists in steel companies, and even they are increasing more aggressively now. So uh, let us see how the demand for the products will be there in next 2 years. You know, the expansion policy, expansion physical policy helps the companies to have a infrastructure projects. So infrastructure projects are there means you can see the steel prices will increase. So steel is actually an ferrous material. It will be taken out from iron. So iron prices will increase. So all the if iron prices increases, all the metal prices, all the ferrous material prices also increase. So this is how the chain actually linked. So uh, by seeing all these things in recent past, I'll show you how metal index has changed their path. So you can see on from May it just touched the peak and then it started consolidating here. Even market doesn't understand whether it is a peak or not. So from there here it is just consolidating, and recent developments helps metal companies to gain their to show their to show their pricing power again. So because of that there is a breakout happened. You can see the breakout happened across all the companies. You can see the Tata Steel actually uh, give a path to breakout, and Tata Steel will increase more and more because they have huge exposure on Europe, and Europe economies actually started doing well now. So you can see the sale also got short-term range breakout, and it is going towards the long-term range breakout, and it will go like anything. Even recently, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala also invested in sale, and you can see the Hindalco range breakout. You can see the Hindalco chart. You will see it is. You can see the Hindalco chart how it is going. So Hindalco is actually aluminum producer, and you can see the Nalco chart. Nalco is also humongously growing like anything. So because all these things have actually happened because they have a pricing power still. So we can't say that rally has peaked because still the factors which causes rally are exists nowadays also. So I'll show you how these metal companies are changing their fundamentals. Let's go to Tata Steel fundamentals. You can see the quarter results. You can see there is a huge change in EPS, and if you go to the cash flow statement, you will actually understand how the changes actually happens. You can see the March 2021, the 2021 year, they got 44,000 crores of operating cash flows. After meeting their all the expenses, they had a 44,327 crores of excess cash. What they have done, they have just repaid their borrowings, almost like 40,000 crores borrowings they have repaid. So if this exists another year, the Tata Steel long-term borrowings will just go to 40,000 crores. That means almost they are they have increased, they have changed their balance sheet. You can say uh, the Tata Steel has came out of the uh, long run loss stake. So all of this happens, and the Tata Steel fundamentals are also changing because of these only. The long-term investors like Rakesh Jhunjhunwala coming and investing in sale too. See, see, another friend told me that since all the metal company fundamentals are also changing, can we invest for long term? No, don't invest for long term, guys. Just invest till the peak, I can say. We don't know when the peak ends. We don't know when the supply and demand equals, and we don't know when the operating profit margin once again decreases. So just follow these factors, how they are actually exist in industry, then you will be understanding when the peak will complete. So coming to the short term, if you see the short term charts, they are very bullish, and you can see the Tata Steel. So for Tata Steel, I'm thinking it will go leaps and bounds till 1800. It may touch 2000 in 1 year. That that will happen, and you can see the sale. Sale will be going to 180 for sure in this year. And Hindalco, I'm thinking about 600, and Nalco, I'm thinking about 140. So, like like I said, it all depends upon the demand and supply mismatch. So that's it from my side, guys. Thank you for your time. Jai Hind.